Welcome to Tales of the Night Sky, where ancient stories come alive in the stillness of your mind. Tonight, we travel far across golden deserts and jeweled palaces to hear a tale from the fabled 1001 Nights, a story of envy, danger, and unexpected wisdom. This is the story of the envious vizier and the sultan's son. Once, in a kingdom far beyond the dunes, a wise and noble sultan ruled with justice. He had many trusted advisers, but none closer than his grand vizier, a man clever in counsel but bitter in heart. The sultan also had a son, Prince Ali, brave, kind, and full of curiosity. The boy loved to ride into the countryside, talk with scholars, and sit under trees to read ancient books. But the vizier, he saw the prince's growing influence and felt his own power fading. One day, the vizier whispered to himself, this boy will wear the crown, and I will be forgotten. And so envy twisted the vizier's mind. He devised a plan. He approached the sultan and bowed deeply. My lord, he said, your son is brave, yes, but reckless. He rides alone into dangerous lands. I fear he may one day vanish, or worse. The sultan frowned. Do you fear for his safety or for your own position, vizier? He asked sharply, but the vizier smiled and said nothing. Still, the words haunted the sultan. Days later, the sultan called for Prince Ali. My son, he said, I have heard troubling things. They say you leave the palace walls too often. That danger surrounds you. But, father, said the prince, I go only to learn from our people, the farmers, the poets, the philosophers. What danger is there in truth? The sultan hesitated. Then go on one journey more, he said at last. But this time, go far. Travel beyond the borders. Bring back something no one has ever seen. Only then shall I know your heart is wise enough for a crown. So the young prince packed his books, his sword, and a cloak woven by his mother. With a few loyal guards, he set off through forests, over rivers, and across mountains. After many days, he came to a land where the sun rose purple and the winds whispered secrets. There, he found a hidden monastery carved into the cliffs, where blind monks studied the language of silence. The prince entered with respect and humility. He learned not just knowledge, but stillness. He learned to see without eyes, to hear beyond words. The monks gave him a small scroll written in invisible ink. This, they said, will reveal itself only to those who seek truth for others, not for themselves. Prince Ali bowed and returned home. When he arrived at the palace gates, the vizier was there, waiting with a false smile. The prince returns, he said loudly. Let us see what gift he brings, or what lie he tells. The sultan sat on his throne, quiet and unreadable. Ali stepped forward and handed him the scroll. The sultan held it to the light, but saw nothing. Then Ali said, Hold it over the brazier. And slowly golden letters appeared, glowing like fireflies. He who seeks power for himself is blind, but he who seeks wisdom for others sees with the soul. The sultan looked at his son and wept. You are ready. But the vizier was enraged. This is trickery, he shouted. Magic, lies. Yet the sultan raised his hand. You warned me of danger, vizier, but it was you who held the knife in the dark. The vizier was stripped of his titles and exiled to the desert. And Prince Ali? He did not take the throne immediately. He returned to the cliffs to learn more, because he had seen what power does to those who seek it too soon. And so the tale ends, not with a crown, but with wisdom. From the pages of 1001 Nights, this was The Envious Vizier and the Sultan's Son. Thank you for listening to Tales of the Night Sky. If you'd like to hear more ancient stories whispered through time, subscribe and stay a while. Good night.